Welcome to Legacy and Leadership. I'm David McKean. Join me as we talk to leaders in their field regarding their thoughts on leaving a legacy and impact in their families and in their community. I'd love to shift the conversation a little bit just to talk about philanthropy in general. Broadly speaking, do you see philanthropy as having a larger role in our community, or do you think it's kind of been minimized, or does it come and go economically? How do you see philanthropy broadly speaking in our community currently?
I think it has grown over the years. I think that the community we've talked over and over again about the potential that we have in this area.
Right.
I think we're now living in truly a land of opportunity, that it has come into fruition.
Right.
It's not a matter of potential, it's a matter of this is it. And so I think our future is brighter. I think it's going to enable us to have an opportunity for even more philanthropy.
Okay.
I think we've done the best. You work with the cards that have dealt with you.
Right.
And
Right.
so you try to plant seeds. I know the big part of getting people to be charitable is you plant seeds with them and you hope that it comes to fruition. You hope that it does blossom. And sometimes, and it takes time. Those things don't happen overnight. They're not quick.
Right.
It can take years. I know that, that part of my success has been about the foundation that was laid for me by previous leaders.
Right.
I've been on their shoulders.
Right.
And they set this foundation in place. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year.
That's
so
impressive.
a lot of effort was gone into creating a foundation early. That those were, I'm sure, very challenging, harder times to get something going.
Sure.
But I think that our future is brighter. I think we have even more potential, and I think that we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, that's great. It's my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that some of the philanthropic growth can be adversely impacted by the economy. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. We're a vehicle for charitable giving. And so we grow through both new contributions and through investment.
Right. Right.
The two work hand in hand. So our model here at the foundation is that we have donors who come and they establish funds with us.
Right.
And you mentioned early on in the introduction, we've grown to over 500 funds.
Right. Yeah.
And we take those funds and we collectively invest them. And with the income that comes about through that investment, we put them back into the funds, which make those funds grow, and it gives people that have the advisory capacity with those funds to have that much more to give back out to the community. So absolutely, the economy plays a key role. It's out of our control, right? It's but we have found that if you let things go, things will come back.
Right.
And so even in those years that may have been down years, the economy rises back up again. And over time, you're back to where we were.
Right.
We have the philosophy here is that our goal is to achieve an 8% return over time, over a period of time.
Sure.
We have a 5% spending policy for those funds that are endowed, those that are set to last in perpetuity.
Right.
So that 5% can be given out on an annual basis. The remaining 3% goes back into the fund so that even if you never give any more to the fund, it will grow. That has proven to be true. And even in those lean years, 2008, for example, and others, we've been able to sustain organizations that have endowments with us.
Right.
Because we have been able to have growth, continue to have growth, and be able to give, still be able to sustain them in those lean years because it's based on a rolling average over 20 quarters. So they're not major, ups and downs, peaks and valleys.
Right.
So yes, the economy matters.
Yep.
Investments matter.
Right.
And so we do depend on that, but recognize that in the long run we'll be good no matter what. We have over 70% of those 500 funds are endowed.
Wow, that's great.
So we know that no matter what happens,
Yeah.
that at least something will be here for this community
For
in
the future
perpetuity.
generation. Yeah.
So what we're trying to do, obviously, is to grow that.
Yeah.
So there's even more to be here for the community in years to come.
Yeah. You mentioned that the economy and some other things are outside of your control. That's true, and from my perspective, in almost any leadership role. How have you as a leader helped navigate your team through some of those difficult circumstances or through dealing with situations that are outside of your control?
I think you share with people the history. You're able to go back and look and see what our investment summary has shown and demonstrated, that you will continue, if you stay the course, you will continue to be, at some point you will be successful, and not to be bogged down by the down years or the lean years, and to know that over time it will right itself. I know that, our country, we see that there are tough years and then there are successful years,
Right.
Fruitful
Right.
years. So I think we just have to have that knowledge in place, and to be assured that you've got to stay the course.
Right.
And you
Right.
have to remain steady with it, and not to let that completely, destroy your goals, your
Right.
ambitions, and you continue to work. And it'll come out on the long run. It'll come out okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
To not get too high or too low, right?
Yeah.
And just steady plodding.
Steady is the key.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, what would you say to others that are in philanthropy that are maybe stuck as a leader and trying to move the ball forward? Can you maybe remember back to a time that you felt stuck or like you were in quicksand or mud, and how you move forward there as a leader?
You always have to stay positive. You always have to know that if you continue to do the right thing, things will work out.
Yeah.
Not to be Pollyannish about it. I'm not suggesting
Right.
that people don't have setbacks, or they're not things that
Sure.
that are serious in nature. But you have to keep moving, keep going, keep moving, and like I say, move with other people and continue to remain strong. Just put your head down and keep working, staying positive, working towards something. Put one foot in front of another. When one door closes, another one opens.
Sure.
And maybe you're thinking that that's not the path I really wanted to take. And it's not the path, but oftentimes we find that those things that are difficult make us stronger on the other side of things.
Yeah.
And make us better equipped to handle adversity the next time it happens.
Sure.
And it makes us grow to be more sustainable, to be better at coming out and being stronger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to have that long view and not
You do.
just so short-sighted.
Yeah.
I love that. Was there one person who has had the most impact on your leadership style over the years?
I've had a lot of great mentors. I think the one person that clearly has been the most influential in my life has been my mother.
Okay.
She was a very strong woman, a very independent woman. She was very positive, and she had reasons not always to be positive. Mom was a social worker, so she had to balance. She balanced her responsibilities as a social worker with her growing and nurturing a family. I was one of 6,
Right.
and she was the matriarch. She lost my father when he was 56.
Wow.
And I was 13 when I lost my dad. But Mom remained extremely positive. And she certainly, it was not easy. It was tough.
Sure.
But I saw that because of her positive nature, she made it through. And we never really felt, and not until much later as I was older, that I look back and go, wow, how did she do that?
Right.
And it's because she was very independent. She was assertive. She was strong. She remained positive. She did not let it get her down. It was the way that she was able to make it through. And that taught me. It taught me that you can, in adversity, you can still make it, and you don't let that get you down.
Right.
So she's been my role model.
Yeah.
At a time too, in her generation that having a career, a very successful career, was really a great thing for me to say as her youngest child, to see that you can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, correct me if I'm wrong, perhaps at a time where women in the workforce is not as prominent as it is today.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, is there one principle in leadership that stands out in your mind that is always true no matter the circumstances?
I think that integrity is key. I think that so much of what we do and moving forward is based on trust.
Absolutely.
And that you need to be successful, people need to trust you.
Yeah.
And see that your actions mimic your words, that they can count on you to do what you say you're going to do. Certainly with regard to the position that I'm in now, people entrust us to be stewards of their money.
Sure.
And we take that very seriously. I mean, that's an awesome responsibility. And so I think maintaining integrity in a leadership role is key.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned trust, and to me that's such an important part of being a leader. And you mentioned actions matching your words and integrity. What are some other things that, when you think of trust very practically as a leader, define that word other than those two things that you mentioned?
Well, I'm going to go back to the empowerment.
Right.
I trust my team. On the flip side, I trust my team to do good work. I trust them to be the best that they can possibly be, and we trust each other. But I have complete trust in them that they can do whatever it is that they set out to do, and so I think I've been able to enjoy the fruits of the labor that we've done together and see that it works.
Sure.
That if you have trust in others, things will lift themselves up in a way that it's not possible otherwise. You can't fulfill a mission if there's not trust.
Absolutely. So you really take the first step in that with those that you work with, and modeling that trust by placing trust in them from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Tell us your thoughts about legacy. What does the word legacy mean to you?
Legacy is what you leave behind. And I think, I've thought a good bit, because, we talk a lot about that we're a place where people can leave a legacy, right? And so I keep thinking, what does that mean for me personally?
Yeah, right.
I have a view of what I can leave on a personal, from a personal standpoint, and also from a professional standpoint. I know that from a personal standpoint, my family is of the most importance to me.
Wow.
My husband, my children, my grandchildren. And just this last weekend, we celebrated Easter at our house. We had 30 people, extended family in our home. And I thought about it later. I remember thinking it felt so great to recognize that my children are strong, capable, competent, fun, engaging, adventuresome people who are instilling the same values that we instilled in them to their children, our grandchildren. I could see in my grandchildren even that they've got all the right stuff that's going to enable them to be productive, great individuals. We had this great competitive Easter egg hunt, and it was like it demonstrated to me, yep, they've got the right spunkiness. They're going to be great, and it was so rewarding to know that will continue.
Yeah.
So, so that was it on a
personal
level. Professionally, what I hope to leave behind is a positive influence on others.
Right.
By doing things in the community that we hope will instill others to have a brighter future,
Mm-hmm.
to provide opportunities for others that they can be successful.
Yeah.
The ripple effect of that is extraordinary.
Yeah.
I know that, I think it was last year I was in the grocery store. A lot of things happen in the grocery store.
Sure.
You see people, you
Right.
talk to people.
Right.
It's a great litmus test to see
Yeah.
how you're doing.
Yeah.
But there was a young person who came up to me that I had worked with years ago in another position, and saw him as someone I thought, wow, he's going to be a great leader.
Right.
And I did reach out to him and ask him if he would take on a role in my job at that point in time, if he would take on a leadership role.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a great job, and it's I sensed that, he had the right stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he came up to me in the grocery store. We were talking, great guy, fun, funny, smart, all those things. And he said, I need to tell you is that you came to me at a point in my life. I had just recently moved here. I didn't know a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't really know how I was going to do or what I was going to do. And, you reached out to me. And I thought, wow, if he hadn't told me, I had no idea.
Right.
And I wouldn't have really had expected that coming from him, because
Right.
I thought he had all the right stuff. And I
Right.
had no idea that he was where he was at that point in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a nudge to me to remind myself that it starts with one person,
Yeah.
that you make a difference in the life of one person,
Sure.
and
Sure.
that's how you get started. We yearn here in this office to have a broad community impact.
Yeah.
We hope that we're going to make a difference in our whole community.
Yeah.
But you can make a difference in one person's life that will exponentially grow to affect that many more people.
Absolutely.
So that was the lesson that I learned that day in the grocery store.
I love it. It reminds me of something a former pastor of mine and still a good friend to this day says, do for one what you wish you could do for all.
Yeah.
And I think that really encompasses what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Is reach out and impact that one employee or coworker or whoever, and really put your heart into it. So I think
Well,
that's
you
great.
hear all the time, it's a simple act of kindness.
Sure.
What you never know what you say to somebody
Right.
or where they are at that point that you're saying something, how it's going to
Yep.
affect them.
Yep.
But nevertheless, you remember, we should always do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
We should always be mindful of that maybe what we see is not how somebody else is truly feeling,
Right.
or that they're in a place where you don't know that there's profound hurt.
Right. Right.
We go to church and we think all the people around us are perfect, right?
Right. Right.
Well, that's not true. We're sitting in church because there's pain.
Yeah. Sure.
And there are others around us that are experiencing things that are very serious, or in a place that
Right.
is maybe of despair or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that remember that it starts on a one-on-one basis. But
Yeah.
you're right. It's nice to think that it spreads.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to go back to when you were talking about just a moment ago the personal part of your legacy. My daughter is a senior at UMS Wright, and she is leaving the nest here soon. And I was talking to a friend several weeks ago who was older and has had several kids leave the nest. And he said, David, you want to create an environment such that your children want to come back.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I can't help but notice that you as a mom, as a parent, have obviously created that environment such that 30 people showed up at your house on Easter. So how have you as a parent and as a mother and as a leader helped foster that environment at home such that they want to come back?
Every chapter in my life has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
I so keenly remember where in the chapter of my life where you are today. I do, as though it were yesterday. It hasn't been that long, but I do remember that I've sensed, oh my gosh, my children are leaving the nest.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what that means,
Right.
where they're going to end up. But I have found that they're in their youth, we created a bond. We created a really strong family ties.
Sure.
We did things with our children. We exposed them to things. We had fun times with them. We had adventures with them.
Sure.
We took them to the beach. We took them to the mountains. We
Right.
exposed them to opportunities. We tried to lift them up to be strong individuals.
Yeah.
But we had fun doing it. It was engaging. It was fun. And I have found that they still yearn to be with each other.
Yeah.
That my adult children are now friends, that in a different way. There's an intense love now that I have experienced with them. It's a little bit different from when they were children,
Right.
but it's better.
Yeah.
It's better, and then they bring you grandchildren, and it gets even better. And it is really great. But we all enjoy being with each other. But you're right. I realized after Sunday, this is great. This is great. You know.
Yeah, I'm learning to embrace each stage of the journey and not live in the past and look too far back, but just enjoy the moment and realize that at each stage there are different things to love about each stage.
Well, it's very comforting too, because you realize, for me, it's proven that every chapter gets better. It gets deeper.
Yeah.
It gets more meaningful. It changes somewhat, but you build on the previous chapter so that it is better.
Yeah.
And so even now I'll look and go, wow, it's just it'll get better.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there are not moments of challenging moments of times that you do feel it's not the way you want it to be.
Sure.
But overall, it's still moving in a positive direction, and that you have each other to lean on in times when it's not as good, and you find that bond is very, very critical to ensure that strong foundation that you provide for them, that they know that they have something that they can count on. So I don't know, the family ties. I mean, I learned that as the youngest of 6. It made me learn how to work with other people.
Yes.
How to work with other people of different ages.
Yeah.
How to deal with people at different points in their life.
Yeah.
And I think that's the value of family, is that it teaches you to be a better person as an adult in the community, because, hey, you've had siblings that beat up on you, or that you get mad with, and you learn how to deal with anger. But at the same time you have fun with them. So you learn that becomes a real training ground for you as an adult.
Right. Right.
And I think that's why the family is so critical for people, I think, being successful in their lives. And I yearn for others who may, and different families are structured in different ways now, but there still is that unit.
Sure.
That is important for people to draw strength from.
Yeah. Last question. You alluded to this from a familiar perspective, but I'd love to understand how you do this in the workplace. How do you create that camaraderie that you alluded to in the family?
I think it's very important in a workplace place to create a culture where you want to balance, where you want people to know that work is important. At the same time, there's nothing more important than making sure that their family is taken care of. And so we have a balance where I want people, if there are moments where we have flexible times for them, if they need to be away, they need to be with their family, by all means, no questions asked. If there are moments, whatever, but we allow for that flexibility, so there is that balance. So they're never feeling like, I don't want to work, or this is not good for me, it's not good for my family. It's important that there is the balance of that work and play and family. And so I remember how hard it is when your children are young. I remember how painful it is. I marvel at how people can balance all of it now. There was a point in my life where I actually took off to raise family. I had the benefit of doing that. Now it was a little bit leaner, and we tightened the belt somewhat at home, but it was important. But I remember what it was like, thinking, how am I going to balance all these plates? So I try to be flexible with the people around me, and making sure that they can do the best they can, and do the best they can both at work and
And
at
at
home.
home.
And at home.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to spend with us, and we're so grateful for your insights and also for your leadership in our community. So thank you for that. So,
My pleasure.
I sincerely hope you were able to grab a few nuggets from today's conversation that you can implement in your day-to-day life. Please know that we are constantly looking to improve this show, so if you have any ideas or suggestions, please feel free to send those to us. Thank you for watching.